Well, greetings everyone. Happy holidays. Hope that your day is going well. And if it isn't, I hope it goes a little bit better soon for you. But the good news is that Umber is here to give you the news and the details that you've long been awaiting for as we close out 2024 and enter 2025 with our first update with the usual 2 characters, 1 story, 1 collaboration. What more could you ask for? Obviously the details, so let's get into it. And this is our yin-yang for the beginning of 2025. New King Mont, Hero King Mont, I should say, I think is his full title. 100 cost light elemental character, and Exdeath also joining him. Dark 100 cost character. So let's take a look at the details, starting with Mont. Now Mont, you can see we do have Lancer and we do have Nightblade. Do quite like Nightblade still, so I'm going to say that's positive. Light element I think is really great because of where light is actually as an element right now. It's a good place and it's going to be good news for this character. Now starting out with our commander ability. For quests only at the start of the battle, increase attack and slashing attack power of light attribute allies and reduces AP consumption for 5 turns. Straightforward, straight to the point ability, mainly for quests and single player. For light elemental character to be much stronger and light slashing characters to be much stronger. I don't have any particular complaints about this, but it might make people reconsider whether this character is really worth as a commander. I think he is just generally going to be really strong overall, and I'll talk about that in a second. But honestly, the commander ability, it's fine, it's okay, but I'm less than impressed, at least upon initial impression. Now, as for this character, he is essentially a new tank, but I don't think that he's going to be slouching on what he is capable of doing, as this character actually has a brand new effect that we've never seen before in the game. But first, let's just really quickly talk about master ability, because it does inform a little bit about what this unit will be like. Defensive 5, single target attack resistance of 10, AP consumption down of -10%. Limit burst deals extra large damage to targets within range, has a chance of preventing movement, and the further the target is, the bigger the damage effect. Now this is a little bit weird because I don't like essentially reading this ability, but like basically reduces the damage taken the further the unit is away from Mont. So it's that honeycomb squall style effect. Didn't explain it super well there because I'm basically trying to read my notes and I just can't read my own handwriting. But diamond style AoE, very short range on it. It tells you essentially what this character is meant to be. Basically a tank, a brawler, a get in close and deal damage, protect units behind. And that is further emphasized by the fact that his second ability that is previewed here does have hate generation on it. So yeah, this is 100% a tank. So besides that, also when the HP of this unit falls below 50%, you'll recover a medium percentage of HP one time, will reduce physical damage, and here it is, reflect some of the damage back to the attacker with a spike effect. This is new. No unit in Wotv has this effect. To my knowledge, the way that this is worded is that this is a completely new effect. And as such, we're not entirely sure exactly how good this will be, but what's interesting is that it seems to be paired with this idea of reducing physical damage and then sending some of it back. So magical attackers will be better against this character, but how much better? Don't really know at this point. But for example, I think that this might be really interesting because this effect might just ignore evasion. If it does, evasion is completely dead in the water. I say might because I'm not 100% sure, but a spike effect of sending some of the damage back at them. Evade characters are already having a difficult enough time doing damage, and this character might be just the end of it. But either way, this secondary ability that is previewed also grants the effect of reducing physical damage, or reducing damage taken for 4 turns, and increasing hit rate and debuff resist. Basically, this is going to be the tank of tanks in the game. And when you consider how good and where Yuna is, and where Light and Dark are kind of already particularly still quite strong, not to mention Pain of all characters, not to be forgotten, I think that this guy is going to have an absolutely wonderful time going into 2025, being a potentially incredibly strong tank against a ton of stuff that is out there, potentially just hunting and murdering evade teams. I would bet pretty well that this character is going to do quite well. And well, let's just say I'm basing this also on the fact that we got another Mont this year, who turned out to be pretty good and pretty meta defining for a long period of time, and still kind of is meta defining. Never really bet against the main character being bad. Alright, but that's not all. We also have Exdeath here, who is in possession of Rune Knight and Green Mage as his secondary and tertiary jobs. And then we get into a few other details, starting off with master ability of reaction block rate of 20 and magic damage reduction of 15. Definitely strong. Does paint a picture of him being good against other mage-based characters. And you know, we have Dark and Light as a combination, Great Sword and Staff. This character is classified to be a staff-based character. I may have not said earlier, but just in case, I'll say it right now one more time so it's not missed. Mont is in fact a Great Sword class character, and Exdeath is classed as a staff-based character, particularly Staff A, or I do believe it is Staff Black Mage group. If I made a mistake on that, apologies, I get confused on a fair bit. Anyway, Commander ability is Dark Regeneration for Guild Battle when HP of Sword Warrior group, Great Sword, or Staff Black Mage falls below 50%, will activate a regeneration effect with and including healing power up once per unit. This ability is probably going to be insanely good and something to be considered. Below 70% is a easy thing to trigger, and regen works better when it is activated earlier, but I think that this paired with a healing power up with other units that have already, modern units have a lot of self-healing abilities in them, that paired together is just really, really nice. And I'm going to say that this is probably going to be a commander unit to strongly be. Now, Void Flare is basically Exdeath is looking to be a single target attacker type character. A single target attack type character who selects multiple targets. As his limit burst, it, for example, can select up to 2 targets, deal extra large damage, has a removal of raise effect, and also messes with magic damage. So the limit burst here is just really strong. It has high range on it, as you can see from the preview, and it is doing quite a bit of good things which are really powerful. But that's not all. But wait, there's more. His secondary ability is a continuous style effect ability. First one starts off by increasing magic attack resistance penetration rate of Exdeath for 3 turns, deals magic damage for up to 2 targets, guaranteed hit, and has death sentence attached to it. Now, it doesn't say an increased chance of death sentence, so I assume that it's just going to be fair. But it's interesting if this character ends up being quite a attrition-based character. Well, then Death Sentence is kind of nice. And the secondary effect that he will trigger off of this is a increased attack, magic, and spirit of allies within the range centered around himself for turns. Seems quite good. Pair this with either of these two new units with top tier characters such as Yuna, Kane, or, well, just list any of the great light and dark characters right now. And I think that either of these guys are going to be very successful going into the beginning part of 2025, as they have a lot of good stuff listed in their kit already. And we still have more to see in the near future. So I'm very, very on the positive side of these two units. But then we also have our VC, the Exdeath VC, gotta stop saying Ash and Mont. Hero King Mont. We'll be getting a vision card the following week. Probably will have an Esper, but we'll wait and see. They've kind of been hinting towards that, but again, wait and see. The Holo Vision card here for units. Main job, Sword Warrior, Great Sword, or Staff Black Mage. Hey, look, that's for both the units we talked about today. Increase at magic attack resistance penetration rate as the primary, and critical avoidance as the secondary for the party abilities. Maxing out the VC will increase resistance to AoE attacks, and for guild battle only, increase reaction block rate. Top tier vision card. This one I think is going to be really, really nice for those mages looking to deal extra damage like Exdeath. Granted effect, increase magic power and increase resistance to single target attacks. Mastering this will give magic power up of 3% and single target attack resistance up of 1. So a hell of an update with a lot of stuff that seems just really good. Of course, Mont will be a permanent character. Exdeath will be a non-permanent character. Exdeath might end up being the one that you really want to target first if you want both. But I have to say, I'm really liking the look of both of these characters, and I can't wait to see the full preview next week. There will be, of course, training for the new characters. We have our preview of the January login bonuses there. The new sword will be farmable for Mont, as you can see. And we have the first of the Chapter 12 stories coming out on January 1st. Now, since there is a lot going on with Macherie at the moment, I assume that's going to be what happens, and will probably inform what the next vision card will be, whether it's going to be an Esper or not. Exdeath will be coming to the game, which we've already talked about. And there's the January, of course, free gifties that will happen this year. And yeah, lots and lots of bonuses for tons of different characters going into next year with the Guild of Battle map being purple. So there you are. We are finally done and through all of the updates. There'll be a few more tomorrow, such as banner details. If there's anything interesting for New Year's, I will of course make a video about it. But let me know in the comments below, what are you the most interested in for this 2025 update? And as always, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Later.